The last bill on the agenda is House File 1257. It's Chair Novotny. Do you want to move House File 1257 before the committee with a recommendation? It is re-referred to the General Register.
I do.
Chair Novotny, please begin your testimony.
Thank you. I'm speaking today on House File 1257, which would eliminate the Public Safety Advisory Committee. This is created in 2020 to assist the Peace Officer Standards and Training Board in maintaining policies and regulating peace officers in a manner that promotes and protects human and civil rights. This committee was established in an environment that was highly in need of fixing. And I would be the first to say that this is a committee that originally did have a purpose, but it has outlived its usefulness. It was proposed and implemented post-Floyd criminal justice, and it was proposed by, once again, then Public Safety Chair Mariani. I was the House Republican appointee the last 4 months. I asked to be an original member of this committee. I asked to be reappointed in 2022. I thought the idea could possibly be beneficial, and to be honest, for the first couple of years it was. As some of the policies and statutory changes took effect and local agencies, local governments established community oversight commissions or citizen review boards on their own, the post-advisory committee has become obsolete. It's a board without a need. And I point this out. We had meetings in the last year that it became obvious that the board was obsolete. We had agenda items that were brainstorming, so we could come up with literally a solution to a problem that didn't exist. Have a brainstorming session on things that this committee could do because we had ran out of citizen groups and issues to address. So we literally were having meetings to justify the existence or having a reason to have the meetings. It was at then that I knew that I would be offering this bill and having this discussion today. If this auxiliary committee ceases to exist, there will still be the main post board. The post board will still have citizen members that can be more than able to submit an issue to the board. A review of the recent board agenda meetings, and I'm getting quite a feedback here on the mic. Can they turn it down a little bit, or I'll back up? A review of the minutes indicates that there have been presentations at the main post board that citizens are able to participate and members are able to, and especially the non-law enforcement members of the post board will be able to bring issues in front of the post board. Contrary to all the letters submitted by groups in opposing this bill, all by state-funded commissions or nonprofits that receive a large amount of their funding from the state, the sky will not fall. Concerned citizens will still have access to the board, and the main post board will still grow and evolve, and it will protect the bill, both the rights of both law enforcement professionals and the citizens that they serve. That is my proposal and the reason for this bill, and I'm ready for Chair Mariani.
Thank you. I see former Representative Carlos Mariani has requested to testify on this bill. Welcome back to the House Public Safety Committee. And when you get up there, please begin your testimony.
Chair, why don't you take the center stage, Chair? Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carlos Mariani Rosa, and I come to you as a private citizen today. I used to sit right over there where you are, Mr. Chair. And it's a pretty neat trick for Chair Novotny to come up with a bill to drag me back in a room I didn't really want to be back in.
Yes, you did. You did too.
It's good to see you, Mr. Chair, and you as well, Chair Muller. We served together on this committee for a number of years. I want to quickly say that I am really impressed by the feistiness of this committee. It's a good it's a good thing that you're all feisty and you go at it. That's how we make good laws. And I'm not going to lie to you. I have no intention to come back and sit and watch your feistiness every day. I love this work, but I don't miss it. And you'll probably get there at some point as well. I'm here to speak against House File 1257. And I want to make several points hopefully very quickly. One, the council in question here was passed into existence as a key feature of the 2020 Minnesota Police Accountability Act that I had the privilege to author, and which was rigorously negotiated by a Republican Senate and a DFL House. It was a bipartisan bill. It was tough work, folks, as most good laws are. The council was just one response to the severe crisis of lost public confidence that Minnesota dangerously faced following the sadistic public murder of George Floyd by a Minnesota licensed police officer. That horrendous act triggered one of the largest public unrests in the history, our history as a people, across the nation and here as well. The purpose of the council is to assist the Post Board in maintaining policies and regulating peace officers in a manner that ensures the protection of civil and human rights. To accomplish this, the statute calls for citizen involvement in policing, policies, regulations, and supervision. Nowhere else in state statute does the law reflect our state's commitment to broadly promoting positive interaction between peace officers and the community. House File 1257 would obscure that statutory expectation, and in doing so would reject the desires of tens of thousands of our neighbors who turned out for days to demand a change to how the state regulates and guides the public servants it licenses for law enforcement. As legislators negotiated a response in 2020 consistent with our state constitution, we knew a vital trust had been broken between our citizens and our state, and we were determined to rebuild that trust. And to do that, we needed to build something different and something better. As opposed to calling for the end of policing and police forces as others were doing at that time, this body bravely led and fought to reclaim the servanthood nature of our public safety systems. The Minnesota House, the body you serve in, understood that a free people expects the policing of law and order to be done abiding by the Minnesota Constitution. That means abiding by the civil and human rights of all citizens. In 2020, when a human life was wrongly taken in violation of this body built this structure at the Minnesota Post Board to make sure that those perspectives stayed at the middle of all decision-making. I have more to say, but time is running, so I'm just going to close this. It's critically important to have this perspective at the state level. I celebrate and welcome the reemergence of similar efforts in our local jurisdictions. We're a state that values local governance. We work awfully hard to make sure this big geographic state that's really diverse, urban, rural, suburban, is able to do its work effectively in a way that matches those communities. And at the same time, however, we have a state constitution with a non-negotiable set of expectations that no matter how locals govern themselves, They govern themselves consistent with our Constitution's demands for honoring, following, uplifting the civil and human rights of every human being in this state. For that, you have to have a centralized body. That's why the Post Board was created 60, 70 years ago, the first in the nation. It was created to provide a uniform set of reviewing and training our peace officers in our state. It frankly didn't do a very good job at that for a long time, quite honestly. It's doing a good job now, and it's still a body that is primarily law enforcement, as it should be. And it's a body that is powerfully informed by citizens in many different ways on the board itself and through this vital council. Members, I plead with you. You all were here most likely in 2020. I can still hear the helicopters flying constantly over our homes. I can see the lights, just the conversations with, fear hanging. We don't want to go back to that. We don't want to break the trust. It comes down to something as simple as that. People have to believe in their government in order to prevent chaos and horrible things from happening. That's why this body was created. It is a symbol of how we as a state acknowledge the central power and wisdom of citizens. Just like they come here to this committee to advise you all, they also exist at the Pulse to advise them powerfully. So members, Chair Novotny, we served together for, I think, 2 years here, 3, good God. You were a special election.
I was?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that. I really enjoyed serving with you. And as I watch you today, I'm really impressed by your command of this important work in public safety and the way you help guide your colleagues through this. But I have to say, this is not a good move. And I would really encourage you not to go forward with it. And I would encourage you members to respectfully reject this proposal. Thank you so much. Maybe Chair Novotny will find another way to drag me back in here. So, thank you all.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you. I'm going to go right to Lead Moeller with the time.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Nice to see you again, Chair Mariani. I just had a quick question about the council members and do the council members get funding to serve on the council? Do they get any payment for that? Who knows the answer to that?
Mr. Wells.
Mr. Wells.
Mr. Chair, Representative Mueller, I'd have to go back and look to see if they are getting compensation, but there is $20,000 in an ongoing appropriation through the Post Board for this purpose.
Lead Moeller.
Yeah, thank you. It's my understanding that they don't get individually compensated, and I guess the reason I asked was this notion that, Chair Novotny, you sort of suggested that the letters didn't mean anything in the packet because they're nonprofits funded by the state. I don't think that those who participate in this get, like NAMI or Violence Free Minnesota. I'm not sure that they get any extra money for participating on the council, and I think their perspectives in these letters are very important, and I'm not even sure, especially NAMI, how much state funding they even receive. And then the other letter raising concerns about the bill is from a number of state agencies. So I just wasn't quite sure where you're going with that, but just want to make the record clear. And I think that these letters are very compelling as well. And am not ready to, and for the reasons Chair Mariani said, not ready to eliminate this council. And I really hope that you'll consider what the agencies said in the end of their letter, that they would love to chat with you further and discuss some alternative strategies for your concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Novotny, you have any closing comments?
Yes, as I said, and I'll point to some of the things that former Chair Mariani said, that it was a different time and things have got a lot better. And local communities and local agencies and local groups have been able to form groups and do oversights commissions. The best work is done at a local level. As I said, and knowing some of the citizens that are on the main post board, I think they do good work, and I think that they would be able to carry this all out. Reed Moeller, my response or my things that I was speaking to, you are right. Yes, there's no paid members of the board other than per diem and travel for members that want to put that in. My point was just that, just to the point that the letters all came from groups like the State Commission of Representing of, the State Commission of, there's people that all have agency. They have the ability to make a change. They can communicate with the representatives of the post board. And with that, I request a yes vote.
Thank you. Chair Novotny renews his motion to recommend that House File 1257 is re-referred to the General Register. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. No. Motion carries and House File 1257 is referred to the General Register.